feast of hurling in Croke Park and plenty for Donal Óg, Shane and Brendan to chat through shortly. We're going to start with today's semi-final between Limerick and Cork. There was a thrilling finish to their Munster Championship meeting earlier in the summer and a full house of spectators were anticipating another epic encounter today.
For both teams, that they find the phenomenal belief, the character, the composure.
And that's why Limerick are All-Ireland champions. It was some match, and they may very well have rescued their season. Only a puck of the ball between them pretty frequently in hurling.
All of this can be broken, all of this can be...
This is down to your mind now. Can you push yourself? Can you find the inner strength to say, I'm going to go and I'm going to make the move here, make the burst to win the game? Imagine the prize that's going to be for one of these teams.
Barry Nash is ruled out through injury, so Sean Finn comes back in after his own injury worries. Seamus Flanagan returns to the starting team, having scored 3-3 in the first meeting back in May, with Shane O'Brien going the other way. Cork include 5 of the 6 backs that started the 2021 All-Ireland final. Owen Downey is the newbie on the edge of the square, and he's settled in quite nicely there. Patrick Horgan is one short of reaching the 700-point mark in championship hurling. The start of this match could probably be measured on the Richter scale. Both of them will want to start huge, start big. The 73rd meeting of Limerick and Cork, the All-Ireland semi-final. Dara Fitzgibbon into it straight away. No foul there. Tom Morrissey was behind him. And there is Mike Casey. Now Cathal O'Neill. In the All-Ireland semi-finals in this incredible Limerick run. They have been slightly vulnerable in the first half. They get it sorted usually in the second. Here's Aaron Gallan. Gallan just couldn't pick it first time. We had some rain beforehand. The surface is greasy, and Gallan, with 1 point from play in his last 3 games, has 1 point after 38 seconds.
Cork unlucky there not to get a free. Dara Fitzgibbon definitely tripped going through. Seamus Flanagan turned up out in the wing. Lovely diagonal ball, and Gallan does what he does.
Garrod Hegarty, pressure from Kieran Joyce from Castlemartyr, the club celebrating its centenary in Cork this year. Here comes Shane Barrett, they're keeping the pace high. Limerick look vulnerable. Alan Connolly wants early ball. Connolly wants an early score, and he's got it. Cork moving nicely early on.
Yeah, that's a lovely move, and Shane Barrett has been outstanding all year for Cork. Connolly, I'd say for a second he said, will I stay going? But he's right, it's early days.
Maybe Collins is always going to go long there, but the Limerick full forward line just pulled back a little bit, just to tempt him. Kyle Hayes with the shortened stick. Tom Morrissey was on the other side about 20 seconds ago. That's for Gallan. Flanagan is free. It's missed them both. Not Seamus Flanagan, though. He works it back out. Will he? No. There's not enough pressure at all. Where was Owen Downey? And Seamus Flanagan had one shot blocked down out for the 65. He's got moving. They are motoring now 4 each.
And that was great play again by Tom Morrissey. Great diagonal ball. But Gallan he saw Flanagan moving. He just let it break inside.
Diarmuid Burns, it ran away from him. Seamus Harnedy was in on top of it. Now it is Shane Barrett. Barrett, off he goes, loves running with the ball. It's Brian Hayes, chance for Hayes, bursting through. Hoggy's with him, Hayes! Goal! If they're going to do this, they're going to need a few goals. They've got their first one in the 18th minute. Cork 1-7, Limerick 6 points.
Yeah, and Seamus Harnedy did well, but look at Hayes here. Lovely ball inside. That's the first touch of the ball he's got. That's a great goal, buried in the corner.
Mark Coleman, that's a huge whack of the ball, breaking it down, and here they come again. It's Alan Connolly. Connolly through. There's a goal chance again. The referee's blown the whistle. It's no goal. The goal will not count. There is no goal. The referee blew the whistle. It's a free out.
I think he gave it for a throw ball again.
Oh, this is... Let's have a look at this.
Brilliant ball by Coleman. Here's Connolly heading for the goals. Threw the ball over the top. They're going long, which is brilliant to see. They're tackling them in the air.
They are. It was Limerick's first goal. Wow, Dermot Burns. What a catch. And now Burns has really opened the shoulders. And he's got the point. There you go. And a big fist pump towards the crowd. We've seen him do that a few times this year.
Yeah, well, that's leadership. That is an unbelievable score. Tom Morrissey was loose 30 yards ahead of him. He just said, no, I'm going to do it. And that's fantastic from Burns.
Seamus Flanagan just loitering around the back.
On here,
off he goes. Reedy is to his right. Flanagan, the hat-trick hero from Cork Equate, goes to Reedy. They can walk it in now. It's Aaron Gillard. What a stop from Collins. Unbelievable. It's still there. Gillard is still going. Took a lot of steps. Flanagan, another save from Collins. Free out anyway for too many steps. That is an unbelievable double moment from Patrick Collins.
Well, that's an unbelievable act of bravery. It's an unbelievable save, but he threw his whole body. And look at him going back again here. Blocked the second with his body as well.
Limerick had opened up a big space in front of Flanagan and Gallant, as they normally do. Here is Cian Lynch, and Lynch has scored. Just like half a second, the blink of an eye. 4 in a row, Limerick.
Yeah, great response. That's 5 of their 6 forwards have scored from play now.
Level for the 4th time. That is some tussle for possession. Patrick Corgan managed to get the ball away, and that surely has to be a foul by Casey. A goal chance! No, it's wide.
No, he let it go. Lovely ball in for Fitzgibbon. Look at this for a little flick.
I know. And the ball has been tucked out. He actually, the referee gave the score.
Yeah, gave the score. Yeah, he had indicated to pull it back. He gave the score.
Okay. And here they come. This is Mike Casey. Casey has help from Gearóid Hegarty. Hegarty fires the ball in low. It's David Reedy, and that is gorgeous. Stunning hurling.
Started by Cian Lynch with a brilliant hook on Seamus Harnedy. Ball worked out, but Mike Casey to Hegarty. Hegarty hasn't scored, but he didn't panic. He did the right thing again and picked the ball, picked the pass to Reedy, who knocked over his second.
Look at the Limerick bodies travelling towards that drop zone, and they win the ball. Gearóid Hegarty ended up on the ground. It goes down towards Flanagan again. He's got it ahead of Owen Downey. Seamus Flanagan. David Reedy is working off him. Gallant is available too. Reedy, from a really difficult angle, is going to have to shape this. And he has shifted it and shaped it and curled it and swerved it between the posts. Wonderful from David Reedy.
And you can see why they've rejigged the team, and this man is in. This is surely from training. I thought Shane O'Brien would definitely start today the way he played in the Munster final. But David Reedy has scored 3 brilliant points.
We believe it will be a record attendance for an All-Ireland hurling semi-final of over 80,000. And here comes Dara Fitzgibbon for Cork as they get the first point of the second half, and they'll take that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, again, a lovely, simple score. Yeah, and something tells me there's going to be lots of twists and turns yet.
So this is going to drop at the edge of the D. Hayes had his hand up after it. Barrett, it breaks loose to Alan Connolly. Connolly in the blink of an eye with the score.
Yeah, and he's the ultimate big game player, isn't he? He didn't score against Dublin, didn't score against Offaly. People talking about he had a fantastic start to the summer. 3 points from play today. He's on fire.
It's a great ball to him. Declan Hannon there with him, and Barrett from a tricky angle fancies it and nails it too. Just every time, it's like a game of basketball nearly. Just we'll score, you'll score. And here comes Brian Hayes again. Hayes with Mike Casey in front of him. Back to fancy bit of skill. It didn't work. Morrissey has it. Hannon has it. And now Seamus Flanagan. Kieran Joyce underneath that. Gallant got to him. He travelled a long way. Gearóid Hegarty. Hegarty with the shot. Collins stopped it. Gallant follows up. No. They've managed to keep it out for now. The ball down on the ground. It almost scuttled loose. It did, and Cork defended. That's huge for them. And now Declan Dalton. This would be some turnaround. Could have conceded a goal down the far end. They go for a point at the other end, and Dalton has got it. That's massive.
And what a passage to play. But look at Hegarty here. Lovely height, but what a save. It was a rocket. And then Dalton with his second monster since half-time. 2 from play, 1 from a free. 3 actually since half-time. He's landed from massive distance.
Gallant was out in front, and Gallant is still there, and Gallant will be there right till the bitter end.
The minute Hannon got it, Gallant was looking for the ball. He wanted it. You can see that. That's 5 from play. He has been outstanding inside there for Limerick.
Great catch again. That was wonderful. Robert Downey, full back 3 years ago, ruling the air in the half-back line now. And Limerick look all over the place at the back. Seamus Harnedy again. Another score. Cork can't believe this. Punches the air in delight. They've owned the third quarter. Will they own the fourth? 7 they lead by.
It's Cork's to lose now. 20 to go, they're 7 up. The benches are going to play a huge part now.
John Kiley and Paul Kinnerk, they don't lose finals, so this is Cork's chance. That's Niall O'Leary, absolutely outstanding. A Barry Nash-style run out of defence. Again, Limerick all over the place at the back, and the score from Patrick Horgan. That's 7-0-3.
And that's outstanding play from Niall O'Leary. The pace of him, he just ran away from the Limerick defenders, laid it off, and again, unselfish from Fitzgibbon out to Hoggy over the bar.
Another pressure-filled moment. And he's put that one in low, and Collins made the save. There's no score for Limerick out of it. And Cork, well, there's a really good block down in there, and Aaron Gallan has got it. Maybe they will get a score out of it. Comes back out to Shane O'Brien. O'Brien, just a beautiful strike of the ball and a wonderful score, and he's in the game.
Lovely finish by O'Brien at the end of that.
Gallan goes up after it. Great catch, Aaron Gallan. Spins around. Normally, the end result is a white flag. And there is one. So now, that lead has been chipped away at.
Gallan has had some game. He's had brilliant games here. I don't know if he's had a better game than today.
And the clock is not Limerick's friend at this moment in time. Certainly not when Seamus Harnedy is back in the game. And it's 2v2 back there. A big hand goes up for Hayes. Hayes spins. Hayes! Point! He would have loved a goal, but right now they'll take whatever is in front of them.
Yeah, that was a great win again. Cork calling for home now.
The Cork crowd wanted a foul for the hand pass there. There's Darrow Donovan, the all-star, one of several all-stars still out on the field. And it's an opportunity, a scoring opportunity for Limerick, which is taken by Shane O'Brien.
Yeah, you're dead right there. That's what they're looking for, is the throwing ball. That's right in front of the ref. What a catch by Lynch.
Absolutely, here they come. This is why they're All-Ireland champions 4 times in a row. Garrod Hegarty missed what you call a sitter in the first half, and he's nailed that one. And he's just strolling nonchalantly around Croke Park as if he's out in the back garden. Michael talked about it earlier. Lynch set it up. 2 between them. Mark Coleman. Their lead has been chipped away at. Shane Kingston. All very tight. The pressure arrives over there. Ball turned over. Here they come. This is Shane O'Brien. O'Brien, talk about impact sub. He's put that wide. Wide from Shane O'Brien. The lead is still at 2.
Shane Kingston fumbled that again, and what a pick up by Adam English. A lovely ball. Look at the way he switched hands here. That's outstanding skill. Shane O'Brien maybe should have kept going with that. In the context of the game, that's a massive wide.
So we know this is going to go deep. Gallan tried to put pressure on. It's 4 minutes we're going to have added on. 4 additional minutes. And Cork's Shane Barrett has the ball. Massive game he's had for them. Barrett with Sean Finn in front. Barrett for Cork. Barrett takes on the effort. He's hit the post, but it comes back down. Hoggy with the shot. What a save by Nicky Quaid. Horgan didn't catch hold of it. And Limerick, a mess at the back as they try and clear the ball. Frantic stuff. And Cathal O'Neill has got it for Limerick, and out they come. They could have conceded a goal down the other end. Here's the reply. This is Aidan O'Connor. O'Connor from 55 metres away, and Aidan O'Connor has missed. Huge miss.
That was an unbelievable passage of play. Off the post, Patrick Horgan. Look at the reaction from Horgan. But Nicky Quaid did what Collins did in the first half. He threw his body on the line.
A goal now would win it. Lynch went up after it. Downey kind of fluffed it a bit, but he's held on to it, and Collins gets ready to clear. Shane Kingston, they were taken asunder, torn apart, humiliated in 2021, and they've won it here. Cork are through to the All-Ireland final, and Limerick's bid for 5 in a row ends in the semi-final. There will be no history for them. They made history in Munster, but there's no history coming. They have been awesome champions, a brilliant, brilliant team. But today, they came up against a better team, and Cork have won. What a day, what a game. Cork win. 1 goal and 28 points. Limerick, 29 points.
Yeah, Dara, absolutely right. What a day, what a game. And at the end of it all, Donal, it's hard to believe Limerick's reign is over, but what a gallant effort from Cork today. Yeah, great day for Cork. You mentioned Limerick, Jackie. I think it's important, given the team that they were and the champions that they were, to mark that. And I think it's a night for that. It's not a night for writing their obituaries in any way. I think it should be said that they've had a transformative effect both on the game and their county. They raised the bar for everybody. We had the pleasure of following them right through COVID. And, you know, we've all got memories of the Cranberries and Dreams ringing out, and the memories and the great memories that they've given Limerick people and hurling people will never be forgotten. When the great teams are spoken about in hurling, this team will be up there with the greatest. What about this Cork team then and what they did today? Cork were right from Patrick Collins. Even that last clip that we saw there, I thought Patrick Collins was heroic today in terms of his bravery off that Gillane save. He actually stopped both of them. He stopped the Flanagan shot, but even his composure there at the end, in a real clutch situation, to have that composure. Defensively, maybe at the start in the full back line were under a bit of pressure, but regained control. I thought that Joyce did an outstanding job on Hegarty. Should be mentioned that was a great call by the Cork line in terms of swapping himself and Tim O'Mahony. And then in the forward line, it was everything from an attacking point of view, midfield and forward line, that you wanted from a Cork point of view. Everybody scored. Darragh Fitzgibbon scored also, and Hayes was outstanding, rightfully man of the match. Patrick Horgan, after missing a bad free and not having a good first half, showed his mettle in terms of his performance in the second half. Harnedy, it was a performance for the ages from him. He's been outstanding for Cork for many, many years, but that was one of his greatest displays. So a fantastic day for Cork. Yeah, it really was. And Donal is right, though. It's not an obituary for Limerick either, because they have been incredible champions and they were so close to doing it again today, Shane. Yeah, this is it. And I suppose, first of all, to the two pro Cork people tonight, congratulations. Well deserved, you know. And I mean, the scenes at the final whistle is something that we as Limerick people have been accustomed to for the last couple of years, and you know, it sends shivers down your spine. So Cork had their day today, and they probably were the better team overall. Obviously devastated as a Limerick person. You know, I grew up in an era, I've said it often enough, where Limerick weren't winning anything. So I know the last couple of years, I met a man coming out of Croke Park today with a 7-year-old son crying, and he said the reason he's crying is because he's never seen this before. They've been so, from what he can remember. So yeah, listen, very, very disappointed, but they went out with their sword. I mean, it was an unbelievable game. 99 shots on goal today in a 70-minute game, unbelievable. Pat Ryan deserves great credit. He's he's a lovely, lovely man, and the tactical approach that he's brought to Cork this year has been outstanding. And we were even talking there a while ago about, you know, will they go out tonight and let the hair down or whatever? And I just read something where he said, yeah, they're amateur players. It's important to enjoy these wins. They'll enjoy tonight, and from probably tomorrow for Pat anyway, it'll be 2 weeks will be on his mind. So disappointed, but congrats to Cork. I think for them, it's easy to say, yeah, let's look ahead. But I think to celebrate the moment and all that, and I think for all of us to celebrate the day, Brendan, because Shane is right, 99 shots, 58 scores. It was a game for the ages. It was full house everywhere Cork have gone in the last number of years. They've brought a huge crowd, a huge intensity and atmosphere to every arena. But today, what I saw on Cork, which impressed me most, was a steel and a resilience. From the downies down the spine of the defence, around the middle of the field, Joyce, up front the boys, Hayes, I know he scored and all that, but his tracking and his hunting was unbelievable. And Cork for me today as well set the agenda for the game. They played 3 inside. Now remember, a couple of years ago we had a chat one night after our Ireland final, Donal, and you said to me you won't beat Limerick playing like Limerick. And Cork went in today and they said, we're setting the agenda, we're putting 3 inside, and it pulled Limerick all over the place. The intensity, the passion that they played with. When Cork scored the goal after 20 minutes, they then lost the next till half-time, 10 points to 3. The narrative was always going to be, oh, here we go now. Cork gave it a good old whirl. She looked, Páirc Keeve was a bit of a once-off. But the second half, then they got going again. We'll talk about the third quarter in a while. When it was in the melting pot, they put pressure, pressure, pressure all the time. And that resilience is the word, I suppose, that Cork showed today, really shone through. And they had that 16th man in the stand today. You could feel the anticipation. I was coming up along the road for the game.
during the game itself, every time Cork scored, you could feel passion coming out from the stands. It was just an unbelievable occasion. I'd echo what the lad said about Limerick. What an amazing team. They've transformed our game. We've sat here, many's a night, talking about how brilliant they've been, how simple they used the ball. But today, it was just a little fraction off is all it was, and Cork were able to pounce on that.
It is amazing as well. Today, fine, but when you go back to the Munster Championship, Cork were in whiskers of not even getting out of the Munster Championship, and the narrative would have been a whole lot different. You take that night down to Park Queeve, Shane Kingston penalty, even other results that they needed to fall their way.
Pat Ryan would have been under wicked pressure if that night, if Kingston was pulled down and that penalty never happened. But they're the little margins that get you All-Ireland finals and get you into one anyways, where Cork sit tonight.
Yeah, they certainly are, and that is where Cork sit tonight. We're going to take a quick break here on the programme, but we've got analysis to come next as Cork do book their place in that All-Ireland final.
We believe 100% in our own team. We had that belief regardless of results and getting pipped at the end.
Limerick's time as All-Ireland champions is over. The Rebels reign supreme to beat their neighbours for the second time in this season's championship, and they are heading to the All-Ireland final.
We had hoped that 2024 we could push on and find new levels again.
We knew we were going to perform, but like, this is a fantastic Limerick team, and you know, look, we'll celebrate our victory. But what a team they've been for the last 7-8 years. Look, they're driving the standards. We're all trying to catch up with them.
Chance for Hayes bursting through. Hoggy's with him. Hayes! Goal!
We're firm believers that the hardest games we're getting are internally. You know, our AVBs are absolutely hopping every night, and you know, we need to drive that again the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
Hegarty with the shot. Collins stopped it. Galan follows up. No.
I'm incredibly proud of the efforts of our team. You know, it's not easy to come back time after time after time.
Galan will be there right to the bitter end.
We thought they were going to come back and bait us like they do with everyone. Look, but that's our fellas stuck in there like and really grounded out.
They've owned the third quarter. Will they own the fourth?
We believe 100% in our own team.
Garrod Hegarty missed what you call a sitter in the first half, and he's nailed that one.
I thought we finished the game quite strong. We definitely created enough of scoring opportunities.
And they've won it here. Cork are through to the All-Ireland final.
We had that belief regardless of results and getting pipped at the end, and we just believed and believed, and thankfully we got over the line there again.
I'm just after thanking all the people involved there. You know, there isn't 53, there's probably 22, being honest, you know. We've incredible memories created as a group along the road. I'm sure there will be probably some people in that room that may not be there, you know, come next year, but I think that's for another day. To our supporters, our families, we're eternally grateful to them for sharing the road with us for the last number of years. But it's time for us now to step aside, if you like, in this year's championship, and wish the best of luck to Cork and Clare in the final.
We've nothing won. We're into an All-Ireland final. Look, lads will celebrate tonight because, look, you have to celebrate all your victories in amateur sport, and fellas will really enjoy it. And look, we look after what happens with Clare next week.
Yeah, honesty as always from John Kiley there, and from Pat Ryan in terms of what he's going to let his players do, as well as you've referenced. Let's drill into the detail then, Shane, because we know with Limerick generally what happens is that third quarter surge, they're the ones who push ahead, but it was Cork today who turned this on its head. Yeah, and this is it. And I mean, over the years Limerick have been 7, 8, 9 points down, but I mean, if you just see the graph here, like, yeah, Cork had 17 shots and Limerick's 11, 13 points to 5, which is just amazing. And see the shooting efficiency, 45% only for Limerick. But it wasn't just the shooting, it was like over the years, last number of years since I started doing this, I've probably been somewhat critical in terms of Cork's work ethic, but it was on a different level today. Like, many times Garrod Hegarty gets that shot, puts it over the bar, great block by Tim O'Mahony, and Joyce comes out with it then, you know, super defending. Collins varied the puck outs. They weren't all long down the middle that Don Logue might show in a while. Super puck out to Fitzgibbon. He's tracked back, and even just a little flick back to this fella, man of the match. He was just outstanding, flicked it over the bar, but all came from just a really well executed puck out. And, you know, again, like,
Garrod obviously missed. Then Aaron followed up with a super hook from Kieran Joyce that got back there. And, you know, Brendan spoke about the Cork crowd or whatever, the rebel roar when Dickie Dalton gets this ball and throws it over the bar. There, you know, that goes out to 5 points where it easily could have been a 1 point if Garrod Hegarty stuck that ball in the back of the net. And these are the fine margins. And just a last one then as well, the ball is brought in. Owen Downey, unbelievable catch over Garrod Hegarty. And it wasn't just the scores that they got. It was the lack of shots that they gave to Limerick. And John Kiley made a very, very good point afterwards in that third quarter. Because Limerick's efficiency was so bad, that allowed quick puck-outs when Limerick couldn't get set up. And that's they were able to, Patrick Collins was able to spray a ball to the likes of Declan Dalton that was in space. And the reason he was in space is because it was a really, really quick puck-out. So when you do miss chances, it's not just that you're not adding on to your scoreboard, but you're actually giving the opposition a greater chance of getting a shot at the other end.
Well, that's the key. Cork got it right in so many of those facets, Donalogue, didn't they? It's those key men, their approach to the game. This is where that they won it.
Yeah, definitely. Like there were so many things you could mention about the Cork performance, but there was one specifically that we're going to look at, and it's Patrick Collins and Declan Dalton had a huge impact on taking Kyle Hayes out of the game. People wonder today that Hayes didn't have a huge impact on it. Here you see Collins' first puck out. You see where Dalton is. He's playing in the right half-forward position. He's right out on the line, wanting Hayes, teasing Hayes that he's going to follow him. Look at him again, one of Patrick Collins' next puck outs. Again, Hayes a long ways out. In fact, this one, Robert Downey solos right through the middle. Time and time again, we've seen one of the half-back line of Limerick, or Hayes, being in that situation where he's coming, fronting up, facing on. But because of that simple tactic that Cork did today, it took him out. We look at it from the other side now and the impact to give the exact same. So one of the long puck-outs, look how far Hayes has to get back into where the heart of the action is going on. He's actually having no impact on the game defensively. And that's a huge fill-up for Cork because we know how much of a serious player Hayes is. Look at a different type of puck-out. Same thing. Dalton has gone out on the left-hand side. Hayes is tracking him. It opens up that gap there for Barrett for that low ball to be played there. Barrett scores the point. Maybe people's eyes will be drawn to that score, and it was a fantastic score, but it was that very simple tactic and perfectly executed by Pat Ryan and Patrick Collins and Declan Dalton. I actually was surprised. I think when Limerick looked back in this, and if it was a criticism of the Limerick line today, Hayes eventually got moved into centre back. And I'd say that was because the penny dropped. Lads, he's been taken out of the game by the Cork puck out, and I think when Limerick will look back on it, they'll be disappointed as to how long it took him to do that.
Exactly. Was it too late? Because that's the question, Shane.
Yeah, well, you know, the penny dropped. The question was asked to John Kiley after the game, and he said, no, we were fully expecting that. So they knew it was going to come. I mean, Cork did it. Waterford then went on to do it in the Gaelic grounds. Clare tried to do it, but they didn't do it as good as Cork can do it. So I don't know whether it was a switch because he wasn't involved in the game or they wanted to move Declan out of 6 out to the wing, one or the other, but he just was not in the game at all. And, you know, it was the exact same approach that they did today that they did a number of months ago in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. And like with John Kiley and Paul Kinnock on the line, two obviously very, very clever people, but it's one thing trying to execute it, or knowing how to do it. It's another thing trying to execute it.
Well, that's one part of it. So they get all that right. That's the detail. The other thing is, though, if Limerick are slightly off, which is what you've touched on, they don't win the game either.
Yeah, it was only a fraction. Like John Kiley said, we had enough shots there. They got 50 shots away. But on to Donalogue's point there, their half-back line was pulled out of shape. It's very seldom that we see Kyle Hayes so far up the pitch. Barrett's a great score on the run. After that was the 41st minute. Then they put Kyle Hayes in centre-back. But these simple passes that we have applauded Limerick for over the last 3 or 4 years, getting the execution, the simple skills right. And again, Donovan is only just back. I think it was back in February. I think he got his injury. It's his first time in a championship action. Watch him here. He's normally hearing down the middle of the field, catching the Cork attacker here. But when he can't, then suddenly they get a run in, waved up along the pitch, and Horgan's able to put the ball away easily. And then in the last number of minutes of the match, the last 5 minutes of the game, they had 3 wides, Jackie. This is one from Shane O'Brien. Aidan O'Connor then had one after that. They're young men finding their way in the game. You know, normally we see those going over the bar, but it's that little fraction. That's all that was the difference in the game today. And that's, I suppose, why Cork are now in an All-Ireland final. Not a huge amount now in it.
Yeah, and that's the difference, Donalogue. You know, we're so used to seeing Limerick getting over the line in those instances. So it's hard to say it's an end of an era because they were within a minute of getting an equaliser there, you know?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why we said it wasn't anybody writing their obituary tonight. Limerick will be back. One of the biggest boosts for them is in terms of like the players that they were bringing on. Some household names taken off. But you saw the likes of Adam English. He looked so natural, looked so class when he came on. So the future for Limerick is still bright. But we've seen over the years that all of those small decisions and all of those inches by getting those points and winning tight games, etc., that was just not there today.
No, it wasn't there today, and it is Cork who are into the All-Ireland final. We will continue with the hurling very shortly, but it wasn't just the hurling on the bill today, as Omagh also hosted the All-Ireland minor football final. Carl Mullaney has the best of the action from Armagh's clash with Derry.
Derry opened the scoring through a Ger Dillon point, but Armagh hit back shortly after in the 3rd minute with this point from Ross Marsden. Looking sharper in the early stages, Derry established a 3-1 lead by the 5th minute with this score from Eamon Young, one of the best of the first half. Armagh gradually settled to their task and level matters at 3 points apiece when Fionn Toll found the target from close range. Derry then made a big move with Luke Grant fouled for a penalty in the 23rd minute. Up stepped James Sargent to take the spot kick, and he made no mistake with his effort flying by Michael Finnegan in the Armagh goal. Armagh, to their credit, kicked the last 3 points of the half to leave it at 1-3-6 at the break, and then moved 2 in front early in the second half thanks to this point from Aaron Garvey. Derry, though, hung in there and they reeled off the next 3 points, including this one from Eamon Young. With matters finally balanced, Derry's second goal saw them take a vice-like grip on proceedings as the game entered the final quarter. Cody Rocks was on hand to finish to the net and leave his side 4 points in front. Armagh pushed hard late on for a goal to breathe life into their challenge once again, but on each occasion they were met by a determined Derry defence intent on retaining their advantage. The Oakleaf County saw out the remaining minutes with real composure and ended as 3-point winners to collect the Tom Markham Cup for the 2nd successive year. It finished Derry 2-7, Armagh 10 points.
So back-to-back All-Irelands for Derry. Before we move away from the football, some very sad news reaching us overnight of the passing of John O'Mahony, the double All-Ireland winning manager at the age of 71. John first came to national prominence in 1989 when he led his native Mayo to their first All-Ireland final since the 50s. Later, he managed Leitrim to only their 2nd ever Connacht title. Success there, he was also in charge for Galway's last 2 Sam Maguire wins in 1998 and in 2001. We're all thinking of his family tonight, and all in RTE Sports send our condolences. May he rest in peace. Welcome back. This weekend's first hurling semi-final saw Clare and Kilkenny renew their rivalry in the Final Four. After defeat at this stage in the last 2 seasons, could Clare make it 3rd time lucky to secure a first championship win against the Cats since 1997?
Can the banner be raised again for the first time in 27 years and only beat Kilkenny for the 2nd time in the history of their clashes? Big questions. TJ Reid laying it off. He was being held by John Conlon. First free is going to Kilkenny.
Yeah, good step by TJ Reid. Got inside there, he lifted his hand in there. Conlon just got wrapped up.
4:46 this year alone. Hits it well and hits it over the bar. Kilkenny are up and running. First score to the Cats. Tommy Walsh and David Reedy. Reedy not giving up. Carl Malone is there to help them. One-handed, hits it into the centre towards Aidan McCarthy. Nice turn. Clare looking for their first score. Is this sailing between the posts? Yes, it is. It took 5 minutes and 41 seconds for Clare to get their names on the scoreboard, but they have it. 2 points to 1. Billy Ryan chasing after it. On his knees is Conor Lean from Currafin. Trying to scoop it out. Getting away with it is Martin Keown. Heading towards the Clare goalpost, knocking it back over. Very clever. Here comes the Rasper, and Eibhear Quilligan did brilliantly. Great save by the Clare keeper. Here comes another shot, and Quilligan is there again. Wonderful goalkeeper. Inspirational. And that will do his confidence the world of good. He might have his critics in the Banner County, but right now, he's been a hero with a double save.
Yes, Marty, that first save was unbelievable. Low down to his right. Got it away from the goal area as well.
Kilkenny. David Blanchfield to John Donnelly. Again, they go long with one man up front, really, trying to expose this Clare full back line. Lovely stick work. Cian Kenny going for his second point of the game.
Yep.
Very impressive by the James Stephens man from the village in the city of Kilkenny.
Wasn't that long ago he was taking a shot on Eibhear Quilligan. Here he is out in the middle of the field now. If he made that ball left his hurley, he had the finger point in the air. He knew where it was going.
This time Eibhear Quilligan varies his puck outs, goes long. Brilliantly caught by David Blanchfield. Joined the panel 3 years ago. Great running. Really putting the pressure on the Clare defence, and that is hit swiftly between the posts and over the bar. Very impressive play.
Yeah, it's been a great outball throughout the Munster Championship, especially for Clare, getting a high ball down top of Duggan, but you see the difference here. Blanchfield's up there and then goes up the pitch, has that ambition. It's a great finish.
Paddy Deegan from county champions O'Loughlin Gales. Kilkenny exposing the Clare defence. There's a real goal-scoring opportunity. Must be a goal, and another save by Eibhear Quilligan. Out for a 65. Mikey Carey.
Good save, but it has to be a goal. You get in like that. Conor Lean had switched off the red and white helmet at the bottom of the shot there. He just tried to get back there, but couldn't. Just a leg, I think, Quilligan got him. Yeah, stuck out that left leg. It's a good save, but that has to be a goal. You'd be really worried for Clare the way the momentum of this game has gone. TJ does what TJ does.
Kilkenny established a 4-point advantage. 6 points to 2. Eibhear Quilligan aiming for Peter Duggan. Picked up neatly. Hit over the left shoulder. David Reedy is sending this inside the post and over the bar. There was a bit of a doubt in my mind. I think there was a doubt in the umpire's mind as well. But a quick conferring meant it went just inside the post.
Appears to be no sign of Hawkeye coming out either, so it's a great score. One that Clare desperately needed.
Better quality ball on this occasion towards Owen Cody. Coming in along the end line. Trying to get through the Clare cover. Flicks it high! Oh my word! What a goal! A piece of magic.
He went back to Adam Hogan to tell him all about it as well. Watch this, the early ball, he's screaming, get it into me quick. He does it here, the Clare scrambling defence. It looks like everything's okay from here. There's loads of bodies. Watch the one-handed swing.
Fantastic.
Wow, what a goal. No
What a
chance
goal.
for Eibhear Quilligan. He will have it here in slow again. Here's the flick over the top of Conlon. Unbelievable skill from Cody.
Good work by David McInerney. Better effort from David Fitzgerald. Hits it.
Yep.
And hits it between the posts and over the bar. They needed the Banner County a bit of inspiration because Kilkenny have been so impressive.
Yeah, all came for this block here. They've got Mullen 3 or 4 times on the block now. If it's Conlon, it's not McInerney, but this time they found the shooter. That's a big, big difference. That man in your shot will hit it over the bar.
Paul Malone. He was under pressure.
Yes, but he needs to turn back around there, Marty. Hold on to the ball, mind the ball, turn back around. Colleagues below. It's as if there's 80,000 people here. They can't hear you shouting.
Owen Cody will ask a few questions, and Eibhear Quilligan is there again at full stretch. Not once we got a touch as TJ Reid arrived in the late bus. And Clare living dangerously as Kilkenny attack are really asking questions. Sideline ball goes to Kilkenny, and Clare are furious. But Eibhear Quilligan has been the hero for the Banner County in this opening half.
It has, and he saw it really, really late. You can see it coming through the forest, the hurleys and legs, went under the legs, lean there. It's a good save.
Really good save.
Looked like it was sneaking into the corner. Really, really well done.
Gone into injury time now. John Conlon and TJ Reid. In here comes Billy Ryan. A score before half-time would add to their confidence. Second point by the Greg Ballycallan man. Getting inside the cover and getting the room to hit the slither between the posts. 5 points between the teams. Towards Diarmuid Ryan. Drops it in towards Peter Duggan. Bats it out, tries to gather it. Nice wrist, turns, heads towards goal. O'Donnell is available on his shoulder, but he goes solo and he puts it over the bar. But now, almost for only the first time in this match, I mentioned the name of Peter Duggan, and he's done really well here.
He has, big man inside the edge of the square there. You hear the banner roar coming now.
Good ball from David McInerney. Shane O'Donnell, Hugh Lawler, still O'Donnell, turns, will it curl in? The banner roar comes from Hill 16. The blue and navy of the Dubs being replaced by the saffron and blue.
O'Donnell is on the ball more often now, and it's been reflected in the scoreline.
Mikey Butler getting there ahead of Tony Kelly. Different game, story continues the same. Knocked away by David Fitzgerald. Sideline ball.
A few more puzzles there now for Derek Ling to sort out.
TJ Reid with the sideline cut. Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. He's going into today's All-Ireland semi-final top scorer in the history of the game of hurling. 699 points in total. That's his 5th today. TJ. Gathered at the second attempt by Eibhear Quilligan, and maybe not the third time. The Clare defence under a bit of pressure here. Here comes the shot now, and it's in the back of the net.
Who'd be a goalie, Marty? Played so well in the first half, just got out too quickly. That ball came onto the hurley quickly. Kilkenny lads never hit it over the bar. They're always going to go for a goal.
Billy Ryan with the shot to the back of the Clare net. Just when you felt like Clare were coming back into the game, David Reedy trying to get away from the shackles of 3 Kilkenny players. David Reedy to Tony Kelly, getting his first shot in goal, and that is sent high in between the posts, and that might give Tony Kelly from Ballyea a degree of confidence.
It will, Marty. To be fair to Clare, they've had good momentum in this game. I know that goal has got in there now, but it's slightly against the run of play. We'll say it was just an error.
Mark Rogers inside the Kilkenny 65. He hits it perfectly. And the Clare support getting behind the banner counting. Good score. 3 points between the teams. Tony Kelly sending the ball up towards Peter Duggan. Up goes the hand. And it runs on for Aidan McCarthy, facing another shot at goal, and Owen Murphy, for the second year in a row, brings off a fantastic save.
McCarthy did show him with his eyes where he's going to put it, but either way, it still had to be saved. McCarthy's looking at the far corner. Some saves, some reflexes.
Adam Hogan, again, throwing his body around bravely. Knocked away, however, as he was taking the hurley to the slither. Kilkenny latch it on, and they put that over the bar. Yeah. Good score by John Donnelly, his second.
Hogan done really well initially coming out, but it was Mullen there in the background. The red helmet got the flick on him.
Eibhear Quilligan going long. Oh, great catch by Peter Duggan. Lays it off to Tony Kelly. Heads around the circuitous route over towards the Cusack stand, and then sends the slither between the posts and over the bar. Much better again. Duggan supplied the slither. Kelly supplied the finish. Going long. Ian Galvin, lovely pickup, nice turn, and away goes Galvin on the 20-metre line. Looked around at options, and he decided to take his point.
Serious touch from Galvin out over there. All just stuck to the hurley. You see it here, and it comes out in front of his man. Walsh just slips on him.
Nice score from Ian Galvin. Diarmuid Ryan Sending it down towards Aaron Shanahan. First touch is vital. It's good enough. Mark Rogers. This could be the equaliser. Listen to the crowd. Listen to the banner roar. The sides are level for the second time. An amazing comeback. They've done it slowly, methodically. Together, the Clare man level the match. Eibhear Quilligan going long, heading it again towards Peter Duggan country. Breaking ball picked up by Shane O'Donnell, taking on the man, taken down. Referee blows the whistle. Tom Phelan this time is the guilty party.
They've worked really well together on the puck outs. It's Richie Reid this time who just clipped him there. You can watch the legs of both players. Watch Richie just missed him with the shoulder and just leg tripped him.
This to put Clare in front, amazingly. Hits it, lifts it, and sends it between the posts and over the bar.
It's a great free. He certainly brought the shooting boots on today. It's great free taken.
Short ball. Charles Kilkenny. Ryan Taylor was fouling. It's a free in for Kilkenny. TJ Reid to take.
That's
when TJ Reid is on the ball, it's usually a white flag. This to level the match for the third time in the 69th minute and 23 seconds. He's done it before. This time it's curling to the left and it's outside the post and wide. 20 seconds to go, but there will be time added on. Kilkenny have it momentarily. Clare have it now. John Conlon stepping away. Clare playing with a little bit of composure now. Ian Galvin looking around to retain the possession. Tony Kelly from the middle of Croke Park goes for the score and he's got it. Listen to the roar. He's been quiet by his own very high standards. But when Clare needed a leader, there he was. Is that enough for the banner? 2 points in front. 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. The tension is unbearable, no matter where you're from. As Kilkenny go forward and a free inside the Clare 45-metre line.
This is the one now.
Has Brian Lohan guided Clare to an All-Ireland final for the first time since 2013? Or can Kilkenny salvage this All-Ireland semi-final? Richie Reid. They're all around. Only Owen Murphy is inside his Kilkenny half. The ball is dropping in. Is there a connection? The ball is coming out over towards the sideline. 2 Clare lads chasing. The final whistle blows. And Clare are in the All-Ireland final. For the first time in 11 years. Only for the second time in history have Clare beaten Kilkenny in the championship. Full-time score. Clare 24 points. Kilkenny 2 goals in 16.
So a famous day for Clare hurling as they beat Kilkenny in the semi-final at the 3rd time of asking, and they can now look forward to a first All-Ireland final appearance since 2013.
And Clare in the All-Ireland final for the first time in 11 years.
You know, our lads are a tough bunch. We just put it up to them. There could have been 6, 7 changes made at half-time. They really toughed it out, showed a great bit of character, and we're really delighted for them.
They're very disappointed. No complaints. Clare were the better team. You're just trying to get a spark, just get us back into the game.
You're one of a kind.
And looking, sometimes when the momentum's not going with you, it's difficult. And in fairness to Clare, they were on top.
The mountains are taller than ever before.
But I have to say for Clare, this is an emotional day.
I know it's not an island for one.
Second half, then we came out and we just drove into Kilkenny. The only option was the last 45 minutes of the year if you didn't do it, so we're just delighted to get over the line and we just fought for every ball.
I just felt there was a different sense around the team this time. We were all driving it on and I was just having that belief to get over the line.
Great save by the Clare keeper. Wonderful goalkeeper. Inspirational.
Look, sure, everyone played their part there. Like, you know, it was, you know, some of the shots, like you'd say, probably they'll be disappointed with their finishing as well, like, you know, so.
Lohan has guided Clare to the All-Ireland final in 2 weeks' time.
Well, look, the place to be is an All-Ireland final. That's what we've been aiming for. You know, for the last couple of years, the aim was to get back up to Croke Park, and maybe it was too easy a goal, maybe. And you know, when we got to Croke Park, we didn't perform as well as we would like to.
Yeah, well, as Brian Lohan said, this has been the aim for a long time, and Shane, they're finally there, just about, and they got over the line. And you have to say, massive credit to them for the resilience this team have shown.
Exactly, and I mean, they were under huge pressure coming into the game yesterday, because obviously after losing the Munster final 3 times in a row, and if they were to lose to Kilkenny yesterday, it would have been obviously three times in 3 years as well. So, and especially after the first half performance, I mean, in the first half they were really poor. Brian said it himself afterwards, he could have taken off 6 or 7 lads and they couldn't have had any complaints. And I don't know what happened at half time, but I'd say there was a lot of harsh words thrown about. And even in the second half, like Eibhear Quilligan had a super game and he dropped one ball. Kilkenny got a goal from a 2-12 to 12 points after 46 minutes. And Clare just could have wilted and said, here we go again. But in fairness, they dug it out. And it's been one trait of the Clare team, to be fair. They're stubborn, they're resilient, they don't go away, and they're back into an All-Ireland final. You know, obviously, going into that game, they won't get away with having that first half performance. But yesterday was about one thing for Clare, getting over the line and getting into the All-Ireland final. And when they needed their big players to step up, and by God did they do that in the second half when they were badly needed. Because if they were to go out yesterday, if they were to lose yesterday, and especially lose without performing, would that have been the end of maybe a number of players, Brian himself, whatever else? But they just didn't want to hear any of that. They were focused on one thing, and they got into the All-Ireland final, which they've struggled to do and haven't done in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it wasn't just one thing, because Donal Óg on Friday on the radio, you said there were 4 key areas that were, if they were to work, this was how the game would be won, and this is exactly how it played out.
Yeah, like there's the old adage of a good manager, good goalkeeper, good free taker, and a bit of luck. But all credit to Clare. It was a big call even starting Aidan McCarthy. There was a lot of talk whether they would start him or not. We know TJ Reid over the last number of years, how many times have we seen him win games by almost getting 100% in lots of games. He was just off yesterday. You saw this one dropping into the hand. This was a real tough one. McCarthy hit a couple from this side. These were not easy frees in a clutch situation. Again, you see TJ. How many times over the years have we seen him nail these ones and on Kilkenny go? There was actually a point in it at that stage. Clare went up and got another point, and Kilkenny won this free. If TJ had gotten that point, then Kilkenny, when they got that free, would have been able to put the ball over for an equaliser. In these big games, it's those fine margins that the results come down to. And if you look at the numbers, wanting to back them up, if you go back to 2022, percentage-wise, Kilkenny were on 100%, Clare 42%. Last year, it was 86% to 73%, but yesterday, Clare reversed that, 82 to 55%. And if you're looking for something that was a difference between the teams, Jackie, that's definitely one.
That is a massive swing. Even seeing that laid out there, the stats don't lie, and that's a big thing. The other big piece that we've seen with Kilkenny over the years, though, Shane, is generally when they're given opportunities, they take them. And as Donal Óg says, some of it was just a little bit off yesterday. This was not Kilkenny-like in some of the chances they left behind.
No, definitely not, because they're the most ruthless county you come across, and generally when they get these chances, they put them away. Kilkenny here, super save by Quilligan in fairness. The ball comes out to Mullin, just tap that ball over the bar and move on, but bold enough now to go again to be the goalkeeper from that angle, and you know, that one was a bit easier for Quilligan. Ball popped in here. I mean, this is like when Mikey Carey gets the ball, he needs to be absolutely nailing these chances. I know he's a wing back, might be the most natural forward, but what is he, 10 yards out? In fairness, Eibhear Quilligan made himself big. You know, good save, bad finish, whatever way you want to put it. This, I know Mikey Carey again, but when he gets it, just look at this, like, just keep running, especially with someone of Mikey Carey's pace. You keep going there, there's a goal chance, or 3 points up, at least put it over the bar. No, he hits it wide. So there was a huge amount of chances for Kilkenny to be probably 9 or 10 points up at half-time. Donal Óg showed TJ in the freeze. That's bread and butter stuff to him. Super work here by John Donnelly. Turns the ball over. Paddy Deegan, just the main man is inside your Cody. Just pop it into him and you'll be sure and certain that it's going to go over the bar. And obviously hits another wide. And this is an interesting one for me, actually. There's your centre-back. Clare go man-on-man, we know that. I mean, John Conlon is totally out of position here. Ball is played across to Owen Murphy. And just look here at the other two in the half-back line as well. They're nearly 70 yards out from goal. It's a risky game that they play. And when that ball is delivered, if it's retained, there's danger on. It's retained here by Cody. One of the few now, in fairness, because Adam Hogan got the better of him. Goal chance here, foul, put the ball over the bar. The referee blowing for free, calls it back. Just pushes him, retaliation. You can't do it. Ball is thrown in, and that's another point that Kilkenny left behind. So, you know, the story of the first half here was that Kilkenny should have been 10 or 11 points up at half-time, and that would have been a totally different dressing room in both Clare and Kilkenny if that was the case. But they didn't put him away. They left Clare in there, and they punished him then in the second half.
Yeah, they did, because in that final quarter, Brendan, Clare outscored them 6 points to 2, and it's them who are pushing at the finish for the victory.
It is, and I think the way Kilkenny used the ball was a stark contrast to the first half. The first half, they played the ball over around the back. Second half, for some reason, they decided to go along, and there was a breeze there, so the ball was dropping 15 yards shorter than it was. But even hitting into a corner here, I class the sideline as a fourth defender. If that ball goes to Mikey Butler, there's a chance to work it up the other flank of the field and expose the one-on-one inside. Again, two players inside. Use the simple pass. I'd say what happened at half-time, Kilkenny inside forwards were saying, hit it in long, and when they did, against the breeze, it just meant they were backed up here. Again, it's 2v1. The sideline makes an extra defender there, and they just couldn't. And the last one here is Deegan. He gets the ball, and like he just lamps the ball in high and long in. Look at all the space inside. Just put the ball arrowed in, head high into the space there. We saw it today a lot with Cork. Now, in contrast, in the second half, Ryan Taylor came on and he made a complete difference to the game. He was the link between the back line and the forwards. They passed the ball into the inside forwards. There was no big effort in getting the ball in. That obviously allows Galvin then to plant his feet, loads of room, hit the ball over the bar. Again, we see here Shanher come on, sub, simple pass. Simple pass outside to Rodgers. Again, gets loads of space and hits the ball over the bar. And even the last point that Tony Kelly got to put him too clear, it was again 2 or 3 simple passes, mind the ball, get over the bar. And I think Cody, just before half-time, was shouting out to the boys, get it in. He was so anxious to have a right row with Hogan inside. I think at half-time he said, lad, just hit the goddamn ball into me here, right? And I think they delivered the ball from inside their own 45, when in reality they should have copped on. It should have been to the 65. And I'd always say, pass the ball into the inside forwards. If you have to put effort on the strike in, it's not the proper delivery in, it's reckless. And Clare, in fairness to them, in that last quarter, showed unbelievable composure. And it's one thing I said before the game, the Clare players put their head in the pillow that night and said, we were ourselves today in Croke Park. Then there's a good job done, and they were themselves in the second half. They moved the ball lovely, played it around, and they got the rewards for it.
Yeah. One other thing to mention on that game, I know Brendan referenced it in the commentary yesterday, but like our own producer here, Wes, said that he had not seen a goal scored so well in Croke Park since yours in 2019. And that goal that Owen Cody scored yesterday, Shane, is one for the ages, isn't it? Over the head, like Brendan said, something out of Wimbledon.
Yeah, well, that's in the week that we're on with the Wimbledon going on. It was incredible. I think it was funny afterwards to see Hogan nearly smiling as if to say, how in God's name did you get away with that? And he went in and let him know about it. They had a great battle, unbelievable battle, and obviously Hogan came out on top, but that was some finish now, in fairness.
Yeah, it was class. Well, look, speaking of getting away with that, Donlogue, the hand pass thing has gotten out of control at times, where some people are saying that was a throw, he got away with that. This has been refereed very differently over the weekend, and this is something that's got your back up.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people talking about it, and there's definitely been examples. You look at it here from an Aaron Gillan point of view, you'd wonder what some of the new proposals in terms of how the ball is going to be hand passed, or they're proposing it to be hand passed, he'd hand passed away there. You see clear separation in terms of his hand. This was a crucial moment. Alan Connolly, like, that's a brilliant skill. What do you want him to do there? Stop? Kick it? Do we want to encourage more kicking in the game? Here's Ethan Toomey, young man in critical moment. Could have been a huge free. Again, watch the separation. He releases the ball and hand passes the ball away. Wasn't a foul, but we saw a number of those over the weekends, and you just wonder where that noise is coming from into the referees' ears, that they're making decisions like this. You look at Owen Cody, like, that's a brilliant skill, yet it was given as a free, and you just wonder in terms of the people that are making these decisions. Look at the way it's evolved over the years. See Colin O'Neill there when he was coming out. He was able to keep the flow going by the evolution of that modern hand pass. And before there's any decisions or any thought of decisions around the hand pass, you need to get the top players involved. You need to acknowledge the skill set that they have, and also acknowledge the positive impact, like the Colin O'Neill example that we've shown there, that the evolution of the hand pass has made to our game.
I have a very simple slogan. If you can't see it, you can't blow it. And what annoys me with referees is they're guessing. They actually physically, like that one there, the last one to Kilkenny, like he couldn't see that. No way could he see it. Again, Cork the goal, disallowed goal. There's no way he could have seen that. If you can't see it, you can't blow it. It's as simple as that.
Well, trust me, this is not going to be the last that you will hear of that, but well executed by the lads there, because you can see there was so many of them across the weekend. It was quarter-final weekend in the Ladies Football Championship as well, and plenty of drama in that too. Carl Mullaney reports on today's clash between Armagh and Mayo.
Armagh had established a 2-1 lead by the 10th minute when they crashed in the opening goal of the match after good work from Niamh Henderson. Blohin Mackin hammered the ball to the net. Mayo had plenty of possession but were struggling for scores. This time, however, midfielder Aoife Geraghty managed to find the target to make it 1-3 to 2 points. Armagh's counter-attack was working to good effect, and Niamh Henderson kicked this score in the 14th minute to leave it at 1-4 to 2. Geraghty again stepped up down the other end to hit a point for Mayo shortly after to keep the Connacht County in touch. But Armagh finished the half strongly with the final 2 points, including this one from Eve Lavery, to open up a 1-6 to 3 points advantage by half-time. Armagh started the second half well too, with Laura McConville extending their advantage just 15 seconds after the resumption. Mayo needed to make things happen and did open their second half account 4 minutes later when Annie Goff found the range to close the gap to 6 once again. Armagh, though, got the key score of the second half shortly after when Aoife McCoy found the back of the net to give the home team an even bigger cushion. Niamh Henderson followed that with a point before the hard-working Lisa Cafferty responded for Mayo moments later. Armagh, though, always looked assured of the result, and this score from Niamh Reel helped the hosts close out the result late on as they now march on to the last 4. It finished Armagh 2-11, Mayo 11 points.
Well, no doubt about the result of the weekend, though, as Galway knocked All-Ireland champions Dublin out. Extra time needed in Parnell Park, but Aoife O'Rourke's goal proved decisive in that extra time period as Galway eventually got the better of the Dubs by a single point, a huge result that blows the championship wide open. So, looking at the weekend's results, there is, as you saw, wins for Armagh and Galway. Elsewhere, Kerry cruised past Meath while Cork beat Waterford. The semi-final lineup sees Cork facing Galway and Kerry will play Armagh. We're going to take a quick break here on the programme, and after that we're going to turn our attention to the Camogie quarter-finals. Welcome back. Croke Park also hosted the Camogie quarter-finals this weekend. After reaching the All-Ireland final last year, Waterford were hoping to continue their upward trajectory against a Galway team who've shown mixed form in this championship campaign.
Held there by Eilish O'Reilly. She's going to be very important for Galway, you would imagine. There's an extra player back there for Waterford, able to take control of that. Orla Hickey feeding it out. The little hand pass into the centre there by Kate Lynch, intercepted by Niamh McPeak. Plays it out here once again to Eilish O'Reilly, back towards McPeak. There's a goal chance here for Galway. Stopped by the goalkeeper. Very good work by Brianna O'Regan that time. And Galway have another opportunity with Niamh Mallon, and the down native puts it up and over the crossbar. Another one for Galway, and that's the opening point of the game to come from open play. And it's Niamh Mallon who's got it, helped there by Eilish O'Reilly.
Yeah, and look, I think Waterford will be disappointed. They had that ball coming out. They should have probably done better with it. Just played around with it a little too much and showed too much of it to Niamh McPeak, and looked lucky to get away with just conceding a point on that occasion.
Goalkeeper Brianna O'Regan able to get it away this time, and Waterford able to win possession in the middle of the park. That's overhit that time, and Galway have it back once more. And they could challenge here with Eilish O'Reilly eyeing the target. It might come in yet, and I think it might well have done so inside the left-hand upright. And that's the first of the day for Eilish O'Reilly from Oranmore Mari. Tara Power comes back in again, links up with Orla Hickey. Had been playing the sweeper role, forward now inside the opposing 45. Drops it in and drops it to the right and puts it wide. Oh, I think there's a Hawkeye moment here. And it was a score. Here's Ciara Hickey now for Galway. leaving it there for Derbala Higgins. That's up and it's over the crossbar.
On that occasion, she found herself as the outball and probably a little bit more space than she's used to, and had a shot, and she's a fine strike of a ball and a super score for her.
Niamh Hanafi playing it downfield. Missed there by Bevan Bowdron. Collected here smartly. A beautiful point by Niamh Nyland. Nyland with her first, and another one for Galway, who lead by 7 points to 4. Sarah Healy collecting that one. Out quickly there. Whoa, Niamh Kilkenny just dropped it, and that was enough for Niamh Rockett. In she went, and that will do very, very nicely indeed. Late in the half, it's back to a 2-point game. A mistake here by Niamh Kilkenny, very untypical of her. And Niamh Rockett says, thank you very much indeed. They're getting nothing easily here, Waterford, anytime. There are 2-3 Galway players converging upon them. And now Niamh Rockett has an opportunity. Hits it well. Has it got the direction? It just about has. They needed that.
And it gives them a little bit of impetus now. And look, I think Waterford need to be brave now and need to back themselves and need to maybe push on.
And now Waterford taking it strongly again. Niamh Rockett beautifully into Beth Carton. Carton gets well past Anya Kane that time. Off her left-hand side, beautifully done. First to come from open play. That's a fourth for Beth Carton. Last year's Camogie Player of the Year has made it a 1-point game in this All-Ireland quarter-final. And here's Aoife Donoghue, ready to come in and look to try and get the opening goal of the game here. And she gets it, second attempt. Is that the vital breakthrough now for Galway? Brianna O'Regan did extremely well the first time, but Aoife Donoghue wasn't going to be denied, and as it came back to her, she popped it beautifully in over the Waterford goalkeeper to get the game's first goal. Beth Carton ambles across, provides the ball inside. It's a brilliant ball inside. This is for Niamh Rockett, and the Galway defence converged on her, brought her down, and it is a penalty. This is a critical moment now. This to put 2 between them, with still about 8 minutes plus stoppage time still to go. So let's say about 10 minutes still left. Can she beat Sarah Healy? She can.
She's making no mistakes on that one. And look, that's the impetus maybe that Waterford need to kick on from here.
With Eilish O'Reilly, bit of a dogfight right now. The object of the exercise to get into the semi-final draw. And Aoife Donoghue has done really, really well. And that's going to count. She was on an advantage anyway, so a point to go with the goal that she got earlier on. Brianna O'Regan fires it in. Galway need to defend. Waterford need to get a chance somehow. It's gone wide. It's another miss. A little flick that time. Beth Carton in the middle of it there. And the referee calls for the ball, and it's all over. Galway have beaten Waterford. Final score at Croke Park. Galway won 12, Waterford won 9.
The other quarter-final this weekend saw Dublin face Kilkenny. The Dubs looking to reach the semi-final stages for the first time in 7 years.
There were joyous scenes in Croke Park yesterday as Dublin beat Kilkenny to reach the semi-finals of the All-Ireland for the first time in 7 years and only the second time since 1990. They got off to the dream start as with only 5 minutes on the clock. Late change to the starting lineup, former Dublin footballer Sinead Wilde showed us why she should be first pick as she flicked the ball one-handed into the net. A good response came from the Cats as they slotted over the next 3 scores, one from Cueva Kerr-Murta and 2 from Piltown's Aoife Doyle. The sides were level. Then in the 22nd minute, Emma Flanagan tipped the ball towards Elise Jameson-Murphy and she was fouled by Michelle Tehan. Cork man in the middle, Andy Larkin, awarded a penalty and flashed a yellow to Tehan for the incident. Captain Aisling Maher hit it straight at the goalkeeper Aoife Norris and she saved it well. After the penalty miss, the Dubs had a quiet spell, but Sinead Nolan popped over their first point from play in 20 minutes to get them back on track. Aisling Gannon added another, and a free from Aisling Maher had the Dubs in front by 1 at the break. After the interval, the Cats still had some lives left as Aoife Prendergast kept the scoreboard ticking over, but then they squandered an opportunity of a goal. Momentum and confidence was now with the Dubs as a point from Aisling O'Neill gave them a 3-point advantage. Kilkenny tried their best to catch up with them but couldn't. Katie Power did get it back to a 1-point game, but it wasn't to be for Peter Clear's side. The Dubs pushed on and Aisling Maher gave a super player of the match performance and got the last score to win by 4. Kilkenny's run in the championship comes to an end, but Dublin march on to the semi-finals. Full-time score, Dublin 113, Kilkenny 12 points.
I think as the game grew on, the belief came into the girls, like, hold on a second, we're actually every bit as good as these. We need to drive on here and attack. And, you know, that's something we've worked on, just trying to build from the back and use Ash Maher, she's brilliant there, as a platform from the back, and she's shown why she's one of the best players in the country, delivering those balls on a platter for the girls up front.
We see the Cats are at the standard they are because they've dominated so much over the last 10 plus years, so we knew we were going to have a tough challenge, but we had every belief in ourselves. You know, we know the work that's been put in, we know the calibre of players that we had, so just delighted we were able to show it here today.
Today we just said we're going after this, we're not leaving it behind, and we'll just have to have that same kind of, I suppose, approach to any game we play going forward, because when we can produce performances like that, it's great.
Yeah, so Dublin into the semi-finals where they will play Cork. The other semi-final will see Galway taking on Tipperary in 3 weeks' time. So, a couple of entertaining quarter-finals there, and certainly with Galway, Brendan, they probably needed a performance like that given what had happened to them against Cork, and they certainly delivered today.
They did, and it was tricky for them because it was a dour enough game while Waterford went in with the sweeper with Anna McNulty, young girl playing, did really, really well in the role. But in the 44th minute, when, in fairness to the Waterford management, when they conceded a goal, they went back to player for player up around the pitch, and it certainly went better for them. But all over the field, overall, you felt then Galway were going to have enough. And certainly inside with Aoife Donohoe, Riley and Mallon inside, they were really, really good. Another problem I suppose Waterford had coming into the game was that Beth had got a bit of a knock, went down with her hamstring or whatever. But in fairness, she was well marshalled by Niamh Hannafy all day long. She was really, really good in the way she kept the Waterford danger player at bay. But overall, Galway were that bit stronger, to be fair to them. But Waterford were up a great fight now.
Yeah, they were. Well, they're out of the championship for the moment. Dublin in it, though, and we said their first time in 7 years. Huge scenes yesterday, and I think Aisling Maher probably at the centre of it again. No surprises there, given her performances for Dublin this year, Donal.
Yeah, Jackie, really entertaining game. A lot of talk about Dublin when they won Division 1B. I think a lot of people will be surprised that it's come this fast, even though there was a lot of positivity around that. Aisling was outstanding. She was acting as the sweeper, but she was more than that, in that she was not just staying there protecting the D, she was attacking as much as possible. It was noticeable that Dublin were bringing a greater level of intensity and physicality to the game. I think that almost took, you would have expected it would have been the other way around coming into the game. Aisling, on a number of occasions, you can see the role that she was playing in that defensive. She was also taking the frees. She won't be in her highlight reels. She won't be showing that penalty that she took in her highlight reels when she retires. But I think, if anything, that drove her on afterwards.
Yeah, I think also, like, it's really important that when somebody's playing that role that she was playing, that they're composed in the tackle, that they don't dive in or rush in. And she was really good. You see the determination and also the deliveries inside. But when it goes in, if you've somebody sitting back, Jack, you need to have an inside forward that's going to make it stick. And Aisling O'Neill was that out ball there. You see here 3 Kilkenny defenders. She gets it, spins around and gets it over the bar. So it was an overall team play, but the fulcrum of everything they were doing was definitely was played through Aisling Maher. And again, look, this is near the end of the game. She solos up the pitch. Maybe should have been hooked, but I mean, the power in the wrist to be under that much pressure to get the ball over the bar. We saw how hard it was in the men's game afterwards to get the shot into those goals, but she really, really was a shining light. And I agree with Donal there. The game was reffed unbelievably well, I felt. There was a level of aggression in the game that was left there. We saw Katie Power pushing back out of frustration. I think the Dublin management of the line would have gotten huge satisfaction of that and went, do you know what, we have Kilkenny now, when they saw that bit of temper coming into the game. But he was really played an edge. It was super game of Camogie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people interested to see the physicality across the weekend. I think the other thing, Shane, is when you look at the lineup of those semi-finals, Cork, Dublin, Galway, Tipperary, there's a freshness about it and something for people to look forward to.
Yeah, I think the pick of them is probably Tipperary and Galway. I mean, Tipperary are 5-5 now, so they're obviously, their form has been very good. Galway's has kind of been hit and miss. Like, they were without Aoife Donohoe now, and she's back and was obviously player of the match. but like they were well beaten by Cork last week, so it's hard to know exactly where they're at. In the other semi-final, obviously Cork are going to be favourites going in against Dublin, but you know, as Don Logue said, winning Division 1B, big win the weekend, they're going to be going in there full of confidence now, and whether they'll be able to take Cork down or not is one thing, but they're certainly going to give it a fair rattle anyway.
Yeah, well look, there's a bit of a revolution there, Don Logue. We'll finish off the programme tonight looking ahead to an All-Ireland final, which Cork will savour as well. The next couple of weeks, it's going to be madness in the county, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be magic in both Cork and Clare. I think we all remember 2013. There was a lot of similarities. Both sides maybe not at the start of the year, not expected to get to the final. By the time both got to the final, playing a brilliant brand of hurling, a load of energy, huge support behind them. And those 2013 games were some of the most entertaining All-Ireland finals that we've ever seen. That drawn game, who'll forget the Donald O'Donovan equaliser at the end. And then that Saturday night replay was one of those occasions that you'll always remember. So if from a hurling point of view, if we get a repeat of that, we'll be doing very well. But like we said, brilliant 2 weeks in both counties.
Well, that's what the appetite is whetted for, Brendan, isn't it?
It is, it's great, and there's, again, everyone would have thought, oh, Limerick will be in the final. Guess what, they're not, because Cork brought that unbelievable energy we saw today. And what a game it's going to be, because you just expect Clare to follow Cork all over the pitch. There's going to be goal chances all over the place. The atmosphere, the tickets is going to be just crazy stuff over the next couple of weeks. The buzz, the hype, I'd hate to be doing the up for the match the night before it as well, with the craziness going to be going on. It is just going to be a just showcase event that we need in the game of hurling. We're going to have it, and it's going to be a really exciting game.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be great fun, but that is all we have time for tonight. My thanks to Don Logue, to Shane and to Brendan for their company. We will be back next weekend with the All-Ireland football semi-finals and plenty more. We'll see you then.